Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
I don't think he was trying to take a shot at the team at all. It was just a plain and simple and obvious fact.
I think what's difficult, though, is, and I agree with you, right? I guess I agree with LeBron. The assessment of it all, it's why the Lakers organization seems to be comfortable with that truth, unless they disagree. But again, I don't really know how you disagree.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
You guys had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. You knew you were facing a Mike McDonald defense that disguises everything, and that was your game plan, to play scared. I mean, Mike Vrabel, I love the guy. He played that game, Donnie, like it was a preseason scrimmage in August and not the Super Bowl.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
It looked like a clump of grass. It didn't look like an eagle. That's the one, by the way, that USA Today claimed was the best ad. They thought the Lay's ad was number 2. The worst ad was any ad that had AI in it or had an AI company behind it. It wasn't because of the AI. It was because they were the most nonsensical ads you've ever seen. Does anybody look at these ads and understand if they are actually trying to do what they're trying to do, which is to showcase the product as opposed to being great with AI? Very embarrassing.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
It's a Tuesday right here on the early line, and yes, it is a glorious day because we got you for the next 2 hours, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern, which is what we do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'm Donnie Rightside. He's Joe Ranieri, and also the hot topics will continue to turn. No, we don't have any NHL live action. We don't have any NBA live action. The NBA comes back here on Thursday. Hockey takes another week off, but the Olympics are starting to heat up. Gold medals, silver medals, bronze medals, and we finally get into the medal rounds for the men's and the women's ice hockey. I'm looking forward to the show. The topics will be there, including one team in the NFL, Joe, that seems to be cutting everybody they can to maybe tank this season and move on. We'll let you know who that team is throughout the show. But, Joe, it's time, man. Who's ready? I am.
I am, Donnie, and don't forget, it is a epic night of college basketball. A lot to be decided over the next, we're 4 weeks away from Selection Sunday, so buckle up. It's going to be a lot of big games coming your way.
You had some Hilton magic last night with a close game between Iowa State and Houston. We'll get to a little bit later in the show, and a team total went up in flames in the final minute. But that's what happens. It's a Tuesday, Joe. Bring that hot topic. Let's get caffeinated.
Well, speaking of college basketball, Donnie, it appears the NIL era has officially hit a breaking point, and the casualties are the coaches who actually dare to tell the truth. Now, on Sunday, we learned that Kansas State fired head coach Jerome Tang, and the reason? Well, conduct detrimental to the university. What was his crime, Donnie? Well, did he break the law? No. Did he cheat? No. He actually had the audacity to tell his players that they were embarrassing after a 29-point loss to Cincinnati, at home no less. He said, these dudes do not deserve to wear this uniform. And then he took the names off the back of their jerseys to send a message in the next game against Houston. And guess what? They lost anyway, but that's not the point. Apparently, in 2026, holding players accountable is a fireable offense, Donnie. Now the school is trying to stiff him on his $18 million buyout. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. But thankfully, not every coach is backing down. Let me introduce you to head coach Andy Kennedy over at UAB. Now, his team just lost to Tulane on Sunday at home after going, are you ready for this? 10 for 22 on layups. Layups. They missed 12 of them. And good old coach didn't hold back. He said, We're in bozo land, man. He looked at the media and said, these are college scholarship players that are making more money than most people in this room. Is it too much to ask for you to make a layup? Amen, coach. Because if these kids want to be paid like professionals, then they need to be treated like professionals. You can't have it both ways. You can't cash a 5-6 figure check from a collective on Friday and then cry about your feelings being hurt when the coach yells at you and calls you out on Saturday. We're on a very slippery slope here, Donnie. If we stop coaches from calling out laziness because they're afraid of losing their jobs, well, then college basketball is going to turn into the NBA, where the players run the asylum. The effort is totally optional there, and the product suffers. So we are raising a generation of athletes who want the paycheck without the accountability. So shout out to Jerome Tang and to Andy Kennedy and hopefully more. Tang may be out of a job and Kennedy might be in bozo land, but at least, Donnie, they had the guts to say what every fan in the stands and watching at home was thinking. If you want the bag, you better make the layup, Donnie. It's that simple.
Accountability now. It's no longer, oh, you can't get angry at that 19-year-old kid just trying to get his education and move on into the world. No, that kid actually probably makes just as much as Andy Kennedy does at this point now. He will be held accountable because you know what happens? If that kid's not held accountable, you know who goes? The coach goes right out before that kid actually goes at this point now. So that's the new age of the NIL. And again, people, I will say this. Yes, you wanted it, you got it. The new age of college athletics, and away we go. Let's get to the hottest topics right here on the early lineup, which includes Tyreek Hill. Miami cutting a couple big-name players yesterday to save millions on their cap, which means they're in a rebuilding stage. But Tyreek Hill, one of the most dynamic wide receivers in the NFL over the past decade, he's out and looking for a job.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, they had to, right? Because they're coming up on a deadline where there's guarantees for the 2026 season if he's still on the roster. So it makes sense. But don't forget, I mean, this guy had a devastating ending knee injury in September. He was expected to miss much of the offseason recovering anyway. So, yeah, I mean, it's overdue for Miami. I think the big question is, what are they going to do with Tua? But this is just one, I think, of many moves to clean house in Miami.
How about this move? Talking about cleaning house? Well, maybe not at this point. Iowa State, Nate Heiss shines in a 70-67 win over Houston. So when we talk about that little Hilton magic, Joe, this game was really close late, and correct me if I'm wrong. Were you getting 2.5 points in this one? Did I see that right?
Yes, I was. Yes. And it was awful, Donnie. We'll talk about this game later, but there was a moment in the second half where college basketball got it wrong again, and this one is an easy fix, and I don't know what they're waiting for. We'll talk about that, but my goodness, 0 for 9 to start the second half from 3 is what Iowa State was. They were down 10 and still stormed back to win by 3.
Safety of the Cleveland Browns, Ronnie Hickman, hanging out in New York City, actually jumped at a trendy Lower East Side hotel. Not a great way to spend your offseason there, Joe.
Yeah, not great at all. He's apparently recovering with a family. So, yeah, I'm not quite sure how that happens on the Upper East Side, Donnie, but okay.
Yeah.
I guess welcome to New York. But, yeah, not a good look there at all.
Tough scene there. This is what it happens. Maybe you had some jewelry on. Maybe you were getting to a shouting match with somebody, and the crew tried to handle their business on you. Not a great scene there. How about Aaron Judge, though, keeping it in the Big Apple? He's got a huge contract. The Yankees' payroll is pretty high, and he's still furious at the Steinbrenner family for not spending more and bringing in another superstar along with him.
I'm sensing a theme here, Donnie, are we not? I mean, it seems like there's a lot of superstar franchise players that are opening their mouths, not exactly happy with ownership. Are you sensing that as well?
Are we sensing that Aaron Judge wants to be a Dodger, Bryce Harper wants to be a Dodger, Manny Machado wants to be a Dodger, and that'll be even better for baseball at this point? Because that's what they're saying at this point now. If you can't beat him, join him at this point right now. How about back to the Winter Olympics? French ice hockey player banned, Joe. You can't drop the gloves in Olympic play and get away with it, apparently.
No, you can't. And, that's what you get, Donnie. You get banned, and that's exactly what we got here. So, and shocker that it was involved with Tom Wilson, too. That's even better. They're trying to clean the game up here. That's what they're trying to do.
By the way, he did ragdoll Tom Wilson a little bit on that, too. Not a great look for Tom Wilson at that point here. If we get back to the Winter Olympics, also 41 years old and getting your first gold medal. And how about in the bobsled? Team USA gets gold here. How about that?
I didn't see that one coming, Donnie. I don't think anybody saw that 41. One coming, actually. Yeah, but you know what? Kudos, man. Just goes to show you can, if you don't succeed, try again. Awesome job by Team USA there.
Joe, we have a Tuesday morning press conference here with Tiger Woods. The question is, what do you think he's going to say at this press conference, Joe? What is it?
Who cares? I'm sure it's going to say something about his doing. Is he going to be at the Masters? No, it has to do with what? The Genesis, his tournament in LA? Is that what he's looking at? Is he even playing the Masters?
Yeah. I don't know what he's doing. I got to tell you this, Joe. Like, put that picture back up quickly of Tiger Woods. I want the press conference to say, hey, guys, do you see my hat and my shirt here? I'm going to get rid of the shrimp logo right now, and I'm just going to go back to Nike, and we're going to make the Tiger Woods collection again, because you want to talk about a rebranding that I never see anybody wearing any of this gear? It's Tiger Woods Sunday Red. What a terrible rebrand. Just stay with Nike, man. Come on.
I don't think Nike wanted him anymore, Donnie. Not sure that I'm saying, man, that might have run its course. All right. They're much more into guys, I think, like Rory and company now. But yeah, I want to know, is Tiger playing in the Masters or is he not? Out with it, Tiger. Enough.
Come on, Jupiter, Florida, Sunday Red. Doesn't fit, man. Get back to Nike. We'll be back at this short break.
All right, this is the one that always gets me every year. We've been doing this for years in fantasy, and we're going to do it again this year, and there's going to be some fantasy provider that's not going to give a good answer. Shohei Ohtani should only count as one player in every league, meaning you can use him as a pitcher when you want, you can use him as a hitter when you want, buy or sell.
I'll sell this. I think he should count as two. I don't mind the only counting as one, by the way. It doesn't bother me. But I say this because, once again, if you play in a weekly lineup league, you're never starting him as a pitcher. Never. He's always going to be a hitter. Always. All right, Giants have already said they're going to start the season, and David Roberts mentioned he doesn't know for how long, with a six-man rotation. So you're never going to get 2 start weeks out of him. He's only going to get 1. He's too good a hitter to leave out of your line. You're in a daily lineup league. It's a little different, right? Then you can use him as a pitcher there. So, and I also want to see the strategy, Craig. We know he's going number 1 overall as a hitter, but where does he go as a pitcher? I'm kind of curious to see what round he'd go with, right? He's, once again, once a week. He's not going to get 32 starts. So you're probably looking at 26 starts here. So where does that put him? Round 3, round 4? I like the strategy of it. So I'd like to see him count twice there. That being said, I don't currently play in any leagues where he can go as a hitter and a pitcher. It's always just one player.
Which makes no sense to me whatsoever, that they cannot figure this out to make him just one player. He's the most valuable player in the world because of what he does. So he should be just one player, which you can just toggle in and out. Figure this out software-wise. Come on. There's never been a player like this before. I mean, I'm hosting Newswire. I'm hosting Fantasy Sports Today. Am I 2 guys? No, I'm 1.
Fantasy Sports Today. Friday, starting at 3 p.m. Only on SportsGrid.
Top Spreadlines here for Tuesday, which means Donnie Rightside and Joe Ranier are going to dip our toes into the waters of college basketball. And as Joe and I know, as of this past Sunday, it was 4 weeks until Selection Sunday, and away we go. The end of this month, like we're 2 weeks away, Joe, roughly from some of these smaller conferences getting their conference tournaments underway, which is a fantastic week. And we love day basketball. You get a lot of that. It's almost like that precursor to the tournament to get you ready. You get that final look at some of these teams and the high leverage situations. But, Joe, before we get there, we got a lot of great basketball over the next month, and it starts in the Big Ten tonight. Michigan going to take on Purdue. Purdue, the home team, getting 2.5 points, and a total, Joe, which I saw open around 151.5, now being bet up to as high as 156.5 in the marketplace. Michigan takes the number 2 most efficient offense on the road and the number 1 most efficient defense as well. What's Purdue got up their sleeve, Joe? Because I'm taking a look right now. Not a lot of tickets on Purdue, but not a lot of movement here. What's that spread line tonight?
Yeah, it feels like Goliath versus Goliath, doesn't it, Donnie? That's pretty much what we got. Mackey Arena will be the site for this. Purdue 21-4, 11-3 now in the Big Ten. To me, we've already seen Purdue lose in this arena, right? And I think that was the Nebraska ended up handling business there against Purdue. And now Michigan, who's been talking a lot of smack about this. And who better than Michigan to go on the road and not be interested in your home court advantage here? It feels like Michigan has been steady Eddie here, Donnie, and I think the market sees it that way as well. We know Mackey Arena, not an easy place to play, but we've also already seen this Purdue team not live up to the hype on a number of occasions in it. It feels like this is another smash spot for Michigan here tonight, who wasn't interested about the Breslin Center and Tom Izzo and Michigan State, were they? I don't think they're going to be all that intimidated here by Mackey Arena and Purdue in this game.
Oh, Joe, we got an interesting one here in the ACC tonight. The public is sort of feeling one way, and the odds makers are going, we're going another way. That's North Carolina on the road, on Tobacco Road, to take on NC State. Get a load of this, Joe. Overnight, at least at FanDuel, opened up as a -5.5 point favorite for the home team, NC State. Now we're seeing 6.5, which is normal, so those lines are going to move overnight. But I'm finding out, Joe, 20 or so % of the tickets coming in on NC State, but yet that line moves slightly higher with a total of 158.5. The one thing we know about UNC, very good on offense, but really bad on defense, Joe. What's that spread line tonight for UNC versus NC State?
Well, I mean, you're right, Donnie. It's been nothing but NC State money at home here. And this is it's a must-win for NC State, right? This is a game that they have to have. Will Wade has been screaming and yelling here. One of the best guys to watch in his press conferences after games. The guy's an absolute lunatic. But they've got to win this game. And the market seems to think that they will have a good shot. Now, don't forget, North Carolina, they lost their heart and soul there with Caleb Wilson. They're hoping to get him back, but they won't have him for this game either. So a little shorthanded, North Carolina. Can they be trusted to go on the road into that building and win? I kind of tend to think if you're going to keep betting up NC State here, Donnie, I might have no choice but to take the points with North Carolina.
Two teams in the Big Ten here, Joe, not in great form over the past couple games here. That's Nebraska taking on Iowa. This game's going to be played at Iowa here. And overnight, we had roughly a pick-em here between where you were shopping. But now we find ourselves in the morning, Joe. Iowa as a -1.5 point favorite across the board. Total here at 139.5. You take a look at Nebraska coming into this game. Decent offense, very good defense here. And then you take a look at Iowa, just basically middle of the pack on offense and defense in the Big Ten. But yet Iowa, the favorite tonight at Carver Hawkeye.
Yeah, I mean, styles make fights, and this is an interesting one here between Nebraska and Iowa. But if we're being honest here, I mean, where is the signature win for Iowa? Is this going to be it? Because we haven't seen it. We just watched them get lambasted by Purdue over the weekend here. I mean, it wasn't even close. That was supposed to be a game that, oh boy, watch out, Purdue. Well, yeah, no. And now you've got a Nebraska team that got the losing done early, Donnie, right? They had a little rough stretch there over the last couple of weeks, but they seem to have righted the ship, and it appears that they are finally fully healthy with Mast and everyone else. So I think that this is just a matchup nightmare for Iowa. I think Nebraska's got too much outside shooting. I think they can handle business on the road against Iowa, who's yet to beat anybody of notable, in this conference here. Just don't see it happening with Iowa.
Joe, let's head over to Miami and then another Miami team. But let's start with the undefeated Miami. That's Miami, Ohio, taking on UMass on the road, Joe. We previewed this yesterday. 3.5 point favorite here for Miami of Ohio. But look at this total at 162.5. And I look at this game and say to myself, I love UMass here in this game on defense because they stink, Joe, going up against an awesome Miami of Ohio offense here. Give me the team total over for Miami. Everything matches well. But, Joe, what's your spread line for your boys staying undefeated tonight?
This is the one worrisome game that was left here, Donnie, right? They've gone back-to-back wins last week, and they've won both games, Donnie, ironically enough, last week by the same score, 90-74. I don't know that that's happened, but now this is like, if they can get past this UMass squad here, who played them tough already, but they played them tough, obviously, at Miami of Ohio. Now they're going to go on the road to UMass, and you know, Donnie, they're undefeated, and they would love to end this streak here. So this is a very tricky game. If Miami of Ohio does what they usually do, they'll win this one going away in the second half.
I'm telling you, you look at the efficiency on offense. That's a bad defense here. They should be able to exploit them from the three-point line inside the arc. And, you know who fouls more than any other team in conference play? It's UMass here. And you know who gets to the free throw line? It's Miami, Ohio. Love that game. Should be a fun one to watch. Let's flip it down to South Beach. A little bit warmer temperatures here. Virginia Tech's going to take on Miami. Miami overnight, Joe. 6.5-point favorite. Now today on a Tuesday, 8.5-point favorite with a total of 150.5. The U at home playing good basketball under Jai Lucas. What's your spread here?
Yeah, Virginia Tech's tournament hopes took a dash there with that loss this past weekend here, which makes this a double-way must-win situation. Virginia Tech has to win this game in order to keep the tournament hopes alive. Miami can lock in a bid and guarantee themselves a tournament spot with a win here. This is a huge game tonight, one in which a lot of people in the market think Miami runs away with.
Yeah, and by the way, also, you look at the team of Virginia Tech's defense, number one in conference play, giving up points inside the arc. You know who's number one inside the arc at scoring? It's Miami. They don't care about the three-point shot. What an amazing revelation in college basketball. Spread lines on a Tuesday. We got those covered. Let's get back to the Olympics next.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
I don't think he was trying to take a shot at the team at all. It was just a plain and simple and obvious fact.
I think what's difficult, though, is, and I agree with you, right? I guess I agree with LeBron. The assessment of it all, it's why the Lakers organization seems to be comfortable with that truth, unless they disagree. But again, I don't really know how you disagree.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
You guys had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. You knew you were facing a Mike McDonald defense that disguises everything, and that was your game plan, to play scared. I mean, Mike Vrabel, I love the guy. He played that game, Donnie, like it was a preseason scrimmage in August and not the Super Bowl.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
It looked like a clump of grass. It didn't look like an eagle. That's the one, by the way, USA Today claimed was the best ad. They thought the Lay's ad was number 2. The worst ad was any ad that had AI in it or had an AI company behind it. It wasn't because of the AI. It was because they were the most nonsensical ads you've ever seen. Does anybody look at these ads and understand if they are actually trying to do what they're trying to do, which is to showcase the product as opposed to being great with AI? Very embarrassing.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Oh, right back at it here. Winter Olympics. We love it. We've been following along, and also Team USA doing really well, but we are waiting for hockey. Medal rounds coming up both men's and women's. That's something to keep an eye on. And also, we won't be live on the air, Joe. I think that gold medal game for the men's is Sunday morning, roughly around 8 a.m. So wake up early, get yourself caffeinated on the weekend, and watch that gold medal game. It should be sensational as long as it's USA versus Canada. But let's get the people updated, Joe, on the medal counts here. Norway, always the favorite. They got 12 gold medals now, 7 silver, 9 bronze, which equates to 28 total medals. Italy, 23, US 19, Japan 18, Germany 17.
Yeah, you mentioned the United States there, a 41-year-old on the bobsled to get us that 6th gold medal here. So hovering around 19 here, Donnie. It's actually a lot closer up at the top of this board than we thought. Yeah. But Norway has so many different athletes in most of the events that remain. The United States does not. So the opportunities for gold are dwindling here for the United States.
See, we got to invoke a rule, Joe. If you win in hockey and you have 20 players there, it's 20 gold medals. That's the only way to circumvent the system and knock it down here. All right, let's get to the local ratings throughout the United States for the Milan Cortina Winter Olympics here. And who would have thought? Usually it's like, hey, man, it's got to be close to the Canadian border because that's where people really care about these sports and they play them a lot. How about Fort Myers sharing a 14.9 rating with Minneapolis as the favorites here with the most people watching, Joe? Who would have thought that?
God, there's nothing else going on Fort Myers, I'm guessing. That's the, it just seems to be on, Donnie. I think that's what's going on here. But no, listen, I mean, I would like to say that they have some of the best slopes in the nation there in Fort Myers, but unless we're talking about, beach slopes here, I don't know. I'm not quite sure what the contingency of viewership in Fort Myers is going on here, but kudos. There are definitely parts of this country that are all over. And I think for the most part, Donnie, I think NBC has done a great job. And I think they've nailed the timing of it. A lot of these day and, afternoon types of, events that you can watch live. I think it's been a home run for them.
I mean, Joe, where's Boston? Where's Philadelphia? Mm-hmm. Where's Miami? Where's Chicago? Where's Los Angeles? Where's Phoenix on this? What, the big cities don't like to represent? Man, what's wrong with these big cities, Joe?
Well, what else is going on, right? So football, you would think, right? City. What else are you watching? What are you watching? There's no football. There's no basketball right now. There's no NHL. So, what else are you watching?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of these sports, but I've been digging it here. The storylines have been able to watch it at 8 o'clock. They sort of re-racked the day for the best highlights here. I like that stuff here. Here's one thing I didn't expect, Joe. How about the number of medals won at the Winter Olympics all time in the Americas? Look at how much further the U.S. team is ahead of Canada, 347 to 234. And then there's Brazil with the 1 gold medal out there, which I think was a gold medal that they won at this Olympics, I want to say. But USA, 347 to 234. I would have thought that would have been a little bit closer, if not Canada with the lead. Crazy stuff.
And it was funny, Donnie, because we talked about in the prediction markets, right? Prediction Market Edge, our show here. We talked about Brazil. There was actually a market for Brazil to win a gold medal. And we were laughing because Brazil has never won anything in the Winter Olympics except, Donnie, you're right. For this year, they ended up taking gold in a skiing event. So kudos to them. Anything is possible, Donnie, at the Winter Olympics. But Team USA over the years has absolutely racked it up.
Yep, Kevin Garnett said it best, no doubt about it here. How about this? A ski jumper, I should say, disqualified over his boots. So I guess Shaquille O'Neal wouldn't be able to be a ski jumper at this point. Boots were too big? What does that mean? It makes you less aerodynamic and able to travel farther distances because you can sort of hey, you know what? I can use that as a air rudder. How does that happen?
Maybe it makes you more. I have no idea what the boot situation is here, but I know there was a helmet situation earlier. There's been a lot of back and forth. I don't know if it's gamesmanship here, Donnie. Hey, check the pine tar on the bat kind of thing. Hey, check that dude's boots out, man. They seem to be a little bit bigger than what they should be. It's kind of crazy.
But by the way, did you just pick the wrong pair of boots? We've all been bowling before. Yo, man, somebody got me a size 13. What's up with this at this point? Did you just put the boots on? I don't have enough time to change. I don't know who these are. Let's go ski.
Yeah, I mean, it's would you just change them for the event? I'm with you. Aren't these they should be regular? I don't get it. Kind of crazy.
Squeeze one more in here. You win 1 Olympic medal. That's amazing here. How about Team USA advancing to the gold medal game? Hillary Knight will win her 5th Olympic medal. Just going to be a question of what's it going to be, gold or silver, Joe?
Oh, no, it's going to be gold. Let's be realistic here.
Let's keep it at the Olympics, people. Gold medals all the way around. For people watching the show, we'll be right back.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
I don't think he was trying to take a shot at the team at all. It was just a plain and simple and obvious fact.
I think what's difficult, though, is, and I agree with you, right? I guess I agree with LeBron. The assessment of it all, it's why the Lakers organization seems to be comfortable with that truth, unless they disagree. But again, I don't really know how you disagree.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
You guys had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. You knew you were facing a Mike McDonald defense that disguises everything, and that was your game plan, to play scared. I mean, Mike Vrabel, I love the guy. He played that game, Donnie, like it was a preseason scrimmage in August and not the Super Bowl.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
It looked like a clump of grass. It didn't look like an eagle. That's the one, by the way, that USA Today claimed was the best ad. They thought the Lay's ad was number 2. The worst ad was any ad that had AI in it or had an AI company behind it. It wasn't because of the AI. It was because they were the most nonsensical ads you've ever seen. Does anybody look at these ads and understand if they are actually trying to do what they're trying to do, which is to showcase the product as opposed to being great with AI? Very embarrassing.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Joe, we love crazy stories from the Winter Olympics here because you're trying to build up every storyline, and most of them are good. Like, hey, this team's trying to win a gold medal. This player has been certainly, been training their whole life for this moment. Can they get it done? And then there's, the quad god out there who was supposed to sweep through the Olympics, not even getting on the podium. How about this story from The Athletic? The Norwegian skier, Atle Lai McGrath, was heartbroken after he lost a slalom gold medal that was his to take. He threw his poles, unstrapped his skis, and stormed off alone with his thoughts. How about that? Did he disappear into the woods? What was he going to look for? Sasquatch?
Wah. Like, wah. What are we doing here, dude? Like, honestly, like, where are you going? Like, it's supposed to be the, like, come on, you got to be kidding. Just storming off, that's the end of it. With his thoughts, Donnie, is that it? He needed a little peace and quiet in the woods there? Is that it, just to get his thoughts about how he blew it? Yeah. There's some strange dudes here at the Olympics.
They take it seriously here. And how about Elena Myers-Taylor with her gold medal? Added to the list of her accomplishments, this tweet says from SportsCenter. Her 6th career medal ties her with Bonnie Blair for most by U.S. women at the Winter Olympics. She's the most decorated black athlete at the Winter Olympics, a title she held even before the win. And at 41 years old, she's the oldest American woman to win a gold medal at the Winter Olympics. That says something about longevity, man. How about that?
It was funny. I mean, it's unbelievable the amount of 40-year-old women that have competed in this. I mean, like, wow, and they're being successful with it. So awesome stuff there by Team USA to even with the 40 and up crowd getting it done for Team USA. That's awesome.
All right, you want to watch some gold medals here to keep an eye on Tuesday, Joe? How about the gold medal events for today? Women's slope style, 7 a.m., which is going on right now. You also have the men's individual large hill jump 10K race, or 10-kilometer race, 7:45 a.m., coming up in a matter of moments. The biathlon men's 4x7.5-kilometer relay, speed skating, freestyle skiing, and then the 2-man bobsled at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Gold medals will be handed out today, Joe, once again in Milan.
Yeah, they will, and we'll be there for it. And Team USA will get a pretty good idea as to will it be Sweden? Will it be who is it that they got to play in order to move to the gold medal round?
Now, Joe, we always hear about the stories like, hey, you might be able to find a gem late in the draft. Remember Tom Brady went in the 6th round here, the best quarterback or maybe player of all time in NFL history? Well, in the NHL, you better be a really good player because that's what you need to save your franchise here. And just take a look. As the points leaders in the round robin right now in Olympic men's hockey, yeah, Everybody, first overall, not first round, Joe, first overall pick. You want superstars? You got them, and they're performing.
Listen, between Sweden, Team USA, and Canada, it's unbelievable the amount of talent. And we're talking about like Hall of Famers on every line, Donnie. It's just bonkers how much talent is here. Which, all right, listen, it's what the Four Nations felt like last year, right? That we got a chance to see. It's only ratcheted up a little bit here now because it's the Olympics. But what are we gonna have college guys on these teams? What would that have looked like, Donnie? I'm all for this.
It's great stuff, man. And again, they have to meet the gold medal. We'll all watch that Sunday morning, and away we go. But in hockey, sometimes I don't understand what nations are about in hockey. And you don't want to embarrass your country here. Even though France, every time they take the ice, seem like they're embarrassing their country. You have one guy on your team that's like, you know what? I had enough. I'm going to stick up for us, as opposed to us getting beat 10-2 every game. Following his fight with Tom Wilson, France's Pierre Crenone has been banned for the rest of the Milano Cortina Olympics by French Hockey Federation, not the International Hockey Federation, because his provocative behavior and a violation of Olympic spirit. He's the only guy showing spirit for France.
I mean, you lost 10-2 to Canada. Yeah. Like, come on. Like, you shouldn't even be on how you're even on the ice. I'm with him, man. If we can't beat you, I'm going to fight you. I don't mind that. I mean, show a little fight there, France. That's what I'm talking about, finally.
Provocative behavior there at this point. No, your ice hockey skills are provocative right now for Team France here. Let's get back for some non-provocative skills, which means we expected women's hockey to be Canada, USA. We are getting that for the gold medal game. That game's going to take place on Thursday at 1:10 p.m. Eastern. Look at this line. USA live -450. Total in this game, 5.5. You want that puck line for Team USA? -1.5 at -164. USA has been absolutely pummeling all competitors, which includes Canada. Do we have one more pummeling, Joe, from Team USA?
Listen, I think at this point, Donnie, the only bet to make when it comes to the women's side is whether or not Canada will score a goal, because it appears that that's a very difficult thing to do against Team USA. So wouldn't it be something if they run the tables here without giving up so much as a goal in any game? That is epic domination.
How about some domination today on the ice? Switzerland up 2-0 on Italy in the knockout stage, and Germany hammering France right now, 3-1 in the second period. And then a little bit later today, we do have Denmark and Czechia. That game's going to start at 10:40 Eastern. And then Latvia and Sweden a little bit later this afternoon at 3:10, Joe. We got live hockey right now. We got 2 more games to complete a little bit later today.
Yeah, I mean, Germany was up 3-0 quickly with Leon Draisaitl getting it done early. But looks like maybe getting rid of the enforcer for France. Maybe they show a little bit of fight now, Donnie. What do you think?
Yeah, maybe a guy more skilled out there, not just designed to beat somebody up. We'll see. Can France hang around or France pull a victory? I don't know if that's going to happen, but they are down 2 goals. Same thing with Italy, down 2 goals on their home ice here. But as we flip it over to the tournament that we're expecting to finish up on men's ice hockey, that's Team USA and Team Canada. If you're willing to go over to a sports book here, how about Canada? -140 favorite, which is up, Joe, around that +105, +110 at the start of the Olympic Games. USA +180, Finland 16-1, Sweden 18-1, Slovakia and Switzerland behind them here, but it seems clear the 2 favorites on getting to that gold medal game, Team USA and Team Canada.
Yeah, and listen, Canada should be the favorite based upon what we've seen here. I mean, both squads were expected to make it to that final gold medal round, and it's likely they're going to get there. The only thing standing in the way here, it appears, will be, Sweden is the 3rd best team, and we all knew that. Now, if Sweden handles it later today, gets past Latvia, well, then Team USA is going to have to get it done. But don't forget, whoever Team USA plays, it's going to be the second of a back-to-back here for that team.
Yeah, Sweden, by the way, is a favorite against Latvia today, Joe, -1,300, so they should be able to advance. If we flip it over to the Kalshi marketplace where you could take out contracts, you see Sweden trading right now, Joe, at a 5% chance. So a $100 investment there for Sweden on Kalshi is $16.67. So theory behind that would be, Joe, They win their hockey game today. They probably bump up to 6 or 7%. You're already slightly profitable. And then you can roll the dice in the next round, figuring they might be able to pull an upset or not, but that's up to you. And again, talking about those predictive markets compared to FanDuel/DraftKings, you can get out of that with profit and trade anytime. So if you're feeling like Team USA, they look good in their next game here before they even take on Canada, they're trading Joe at 33%. Maybe that bumps up to 35 or 36% and already gives you a profit. Or if you say right now, hey, man, let's not get this twisted. Canada's the best team left in this tournament. They're trading at 56%. I'm going to buy that right now. They're going to win the gold medal, and I'm going to make myself a handsome profit when that comes out.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's a couple different ways you can attack those markets if you feel there's an upset going to happen. I don't think there's an upset going to happen here, but it appears that the markets think if there's going to be an upset, it's going to be with Sweden and Team USA, and it's not going to be with Canada and either Denmark or Czechia. So we'll have to see how this all plays out, Donnie.
I don't have the schedule in front of me. And if anybody behind the scenes has this, when is the next game for Team USA? We don't know the competitor that they're going to play, but do we have maybe tomorrow? Thursday? I guess it would have to be either Wednesday or Thursday here. So the U.S., tomorrow. Correct me if I'm wrong also, how many games do they have to win, Joe, before they wind up in the gold medal game? It's just one game they have to win, and then they'll play Canada? Or is it so it's two more games? That's correct.
Well, they'll play this one tomorrow, and then Sunday will be the gold medal round.
So it's 2 to win a gold, 1 just to get to the gold medal game.
Correct.
There we go. Lining things up for the people in the morning here on Tuesday. It's how we get down, Joe. Let's check it out right now. You know what's coming up next? Let's get into college basketball. It's heating up at center court. We'll be right back here on the early line.
The level of hockey is being played. Like, if you're not really into the NHL, you should watch this and you will enjoy it. Like, it's a different level of hockey. Like, the NHL, basically, there's like 6 really good guys on each team. And in the Olympics, like, every guy is good. Like, it's next level. It's something to behold.
Winter Games Central, only on SportsGrid.
Road trips to Kentucky and Tennessee, which are pressure environments where mistakes can snowball a team quickly. And not even listen at those games there. How about the home games they have left with Alabama and Florida, who bring size, who bring pace, and physicality that punish you on both ends of the floor.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
The Patriots postseason to the worst regular season of the last umpteen years. Fair enough?
Fair.
All right. So the Patriots postseason, they averaged 1.13 points per drive, okay? The winless Cleveland Browns about 10 years ago averaged 1.22.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
AP Top 25, as we saw it yesterday here, Michigan, the number 1 team in the country, going to play tonight with a tough game. You take a look at Houston, the number 2 team overall, which actually lost their game on Monday night to Iowa State, so they'll be dropping probably in the next polls here, and we'll see who's moving up, like Iowa State listed at 6 here. Duke coming in at 3, Arizona coming in number 4, and there's UConn at number 5.
Yeah, and Michigan easily the number one team, almost unanimous, I believe, there, Donnie, and they should be. I mean, they've been nothing short of totally consistent here. I mean, Arizona having lost back-to-back games and now being injured is not great. And Houston losing last night just solidifies what everyone else knew. There's a clear number one in the country right now, and it is Michigan.
How about the clear number one in the country here for the women's side? Once again, it's UConn. By the way, top 2, top 10 teams, 2 top 5 teams roughly there for UConn. Once again, the basketball capital of the world in Storrs, Connecticut. Gino Auriemma has led the Huskies to 654 appearances in the poll during his 41-year Hall of Fame career to match Tara Vanderveer for most all-time, who retired from Stanford in 2024. Gino just keeps cooking out there. He just does.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? And whatever he's been doing there for as long as he's been doing it there, Gino, it's working. So, I mean, kudos to him. Kudos to the UConn women, always at the top of their game. You know, it's going to be interesting here. But there are some teams and some programs, Donnie, that have closed the gap on the women's side. So it's going to be a very interesting tournament there as well.
How about this? You want to talk about making some money here? Look at this graphic. Countries' total GDPs. Fiji, $6.3 billion per year. How about this? Kalahari's NBA player earnings, 5.8, more than Eswatini, Liberia, South Sudan, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. You want to make money? You play for Cal.
That's exactly what you do, period. And listen, it's been like that for how long, Donnie? Let's be honest. It's been like that since you go back to his UMass day. And even when it wasn't legal to play to players, they were still making more money than anybody else, Donnie. So Cal is gamed the system. He might have even invented the system here at this particular point. Nobody does it better than he does.
No, he certainly does. Like he could sit in your living room, like, I can make your son money right here. Like, you know what? He can. You should go there regardless of where he is, whether he's, Kentucky, if he's at UMass, if he's at Arkansas, doesn't matter. You're going to be a first-round draft pick. You're going to make some money, and you are going to cash in. I always loved Danny Hurley. It was interesting where he was thinking about going to the NBA or maybe sliding to a new institution, and somebody would pay him more. Would he be Kentucky's next head coach? He stays at UConn here, and he's starting to get upset. And this reminds me a little bit of Nick Saban. When you win for so long and the expectations at your university are you're going to win these regular season games, you just want to watch tournament basketball. And also, you have the women on campus who are fantastic every single year and the men who also win national championships. He wants to know why those arenas, specifically on campus here in Storrs, aren't getting filled up. He's upset with it, Joe.
And he should be, right? I mean, isn't the whole point to put on put a product on the court here that fans and the university can be proud of, and this way they support him. And he's a little bent there, but he doesn't have that problem when he goes to Storrs South, right? When he goes to Madison Square Garden. But he's got a problem at Storrs right now where a lot of folks are just like, I guess you get so used to winning that it's like, we'll just wait until the Big East tournament comes around.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible as you take a look at that, too, because, again, the expectations are at UConn championship or bust. But you figure with good basketball teams, the student section is going to be fired up. They're going to be there every night. But also, Joe, could the trade-off be, well, wait a second. We can't be there every night. Like, hey, UConn men are on the road. Great. Well, the women are home. Okay, the women are on the road. Now the men are home. So the students got to be like, what do we got to do? Go to 60 games a year over the next month and a half at this point? Maybe they can't do that, Joe.
Well, I mean, listen, how many a lot of those games that they play away from Storrs anyway. It's at Madison Square Garden. So the games that you would think that when he gets home, to his point, he's like, have we not built up enough equity here? I mean, and the student section, too, is like, that's the big issue here. The diehards are going, but the student section is like lame. Like, what is going on here?
Yeah, a lot of their big games also, Joe. I think it's still called the XL Center in Hartford, where they sort of have that as their, hey, if we want to get out of Gamble, which I don't know, maybe 10,000 seats, we'll go to a 15,000-seat arena. That's where they head to some of those big games. So fan base split a little bit there. But again, sometimes it's not so good. We always talk about the Miami Hurricanes, like back in the 80s and 1990s. Miami versus Florida State, sold out, can't get in the building, absolutely shaking. Miami versus Temple, 25, 30,000 people in a 65, 70,000 seat stadium at this point. They say, you know what? Expectations are a victory. We'll show up for the big games here. And maybe UConn's getting that. How about the big games tonight, Joe, in college basketball? We talked about it to open the show on Spreadlines. 6:30 tonight. Michigan versus Purdue. Michigan, the road favorite, coming into this bad boy as the #1 team in the country.
And listen, #1 offensive efficient team in the country, #4 defensive efficient team in the country. And right behind them offensively is, there you go, Purdue, right? They've got the second best offense, but here's where the difference comes in, Donnie. Yeah, they are only 19th at best when it comes to defense. Purdue, not a great defensive team. Michigan, a great defensive, elite defensive team. So if Purdue doesn't outshoot Michigan, it's going to be a tough one for them at Mackey Arena again tonight.
How about UCLA versus Michigan State? You know, it's unfair. We got to travel. They traveled to Michigan on Sunday and got absolutely blasted in the second half of that basketball game. Now, I'm going to assume they didn't take a charter flight back to LA for a day and then take another charter back to Michigan State. They're probably staying in Michigan. It's cold, and they're an 8.5-point underdog with a total of 139.5. Mick Cronin is going to be crying tonight after the game how unfair this is to his team in California.
Well, listen, games that UCLA and Mick Cronin don't play at home, 3-7, not great. And even though they have a positive differential from three-point range, they're allowing almost 60% on two-point shots here on the road. If you clamp down defensively, UCLA, on the road, you might actually win a few more games. Go figure.
Makes some sense here. How about this quickly, Joe? Miami, Ohio versus UMass. Undefeated team, the last in the country. A -3.5-point spread, as I'm just trying to take a look at Miami's total points. 83.5, Joe, is their team total.
They were a 10-point favorite at home. One didn't cover. They're only a 4-point favorite on the road.
Let's talk baseball, baby. Spring training coming up next right here on the Grid.
The level of hockey is being played. Like, if you're not really into the NHL, you should watch this and you will enjoy it. Like, it's a different level of hockey. Like, the NHL, basically, there's like 6 really good guys on each team. And in the Olympics, like, every guy is good. Like, it's next level. It's something to behold.
Winter Games Central, only on SportsGrid.
Road trips to Kentucky and Tennessee, which are pressure environments where mistakes can snowball a team quickly. And not even listening to those games there, how about the home games they have left with Alabama and Florida, who bring size, who bring pace, and physicality that punish you on both ends of the floor.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
The Patriots postseason to the worst regular season of the last umpteen years. Fair enough?
Fair.
All right. So the Patriots postseason, they averaged 1.13 points per drive, okay? The winless Cleveland Browns about 10 years ago averaged 1.22.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
The ABS system is coming to Major League Baseball, which I do think is a very good start, Joe. And what I mean by start is you have a couple hundred pitches in a ball game. Each team gets to challenge 2 of those pitches, not 2 during the same at bat, 2 pitches for the entire game. That doesn't make any sense I want that to be challenged anytime I won immediately, or how about just an automatic strike zone? But before we get there, teams are going to have to adjust, pitchers and hitters alike. Here's Chris Sale talking about challenging the pitchers.
I will never challenge a pitch. I will never do it. I won't do it.
Why?
Because I'm not an umpire.
Sure.
That's their job.
That's fair enough.
I'm a starting pitcher. I've never called balls and strikes in my life. Plus, I'm greedy, and I know that. I think they're all strikes. Especially the catchers nowadays. The way they catch the ball, the way they receive, they make them all look like strikes. And again, I'm a starting pitcher, and I'm greedy. I like pitches that are on the corner that might be a little off. In the heat of moment, especially you throw a good pitch. You got Murph or Baldy or whoever back there, and they kind of catch it the right way. I mean, they make a lot of balls look like strikes, and I don't want to take away one of those challenges that might be needed later on in the game. And I've dealt with it before. It's across all games and my entire career, there's been balls called strikes and strikes called balls, and you just kind of deal with it. Now, if my catcher has something to say about it, I'll leave that to him. But I've dealt with both sides, and I'm fine to kind of keep dealing with it.
Number one, I'm glad he said that. And number two, on this one, on top of it, Joe, is, okay, well, let's fast forward, Chris Sale. Bases loaded against the Philadelphia Phillies in the bottom of the sixth inning in a 1-1 game. You throw a ball right down the middle, and it's called a ball. The Phillies take the lead. You're cool with it, right? Is that what I'm hearing, Joe?
Yeah, well, listen, there are so many things that can happen in a game. Balls and strikes on the list of things that actually make or break a game. It's not very high up there. I think it makes sense. His entire look at it is, yes, every pitch that every pitcher throws, if it's caught by the catcher, they feel it's going to be a strike. So there is absolutely some bias there. He is right about that. But also, don't forget, Donnie, this year they're allowing umpires to get real-time feedback on the strike zone, because even though we're not seeing that box they put on the TV, there is somebody that is going to be in the headset here talking to the umpires and letting them know that was a strike, wasn't a strike. So they're going to get real-time adjustments in their ear about what is going on and what the calls are.
Yeah, and here's a part also that he brings up. We think about it so much as the batter challenged it here. So again, you have two chances to challenge, pitcher side and batter side. What we are going to have anarchy, Joe, when a pitcher, let's just say, I don't know, bad at Laz Diaz back in the day, or who's the guy, the Angel Hernandez. I just had to use I'd use two challenges on the first at bat of the game because this idiot back here. And then he blows 15 more calls throughout the game. And all you're saying to yourself is, this is outrageous at this. I'm telling you, I like the fact that ABS is in, but it feels like, Joe, you got to be all in or you got to be all out at this point. 2 per game, which means 4 total challenges over a couple hundred pitches in a game. And then we're going to get to this point, Joe, which you're going to love the best, where, okay, a big spot in the 7th, you had to use your last challenge. Now we're in the 9th inning, straight down the middle, ball caught a ball. You lost the ball game because you don't have another challenge, because you won your previous 2. And Joe, help me out. It's going to be anarchy. I could just feel it right now.
I don't mind his approach where, listen, balls and strikes, I would much rather have my challenges available for a guy that was safe at first on a double play and the go-ahead run scored. I'd rather have that kind of challenge. I don't want to burn them on a guy on whether he took a ball or strike or like those. I don't want. You'll get those, but I wouldn't use those until we get to September and October. I would absolutely want in my back pocket the ability to challenge anything that happens on the base pass. Heck, Donnie, how many times have we even seen, is that a home run? Is it not a home run? It's not a double. It's over the wall. I'd much rather have it in those spots here than any balls and strikes.
Because even if you're handicapping games and you say, okay, I gotta hit a home run or get an RBI or a base knock, we've all watched this thousands of times. It's a 1-1 count. Ooh, ball looks like it's outside. Nope, called for a strike 1 and 2. And you're okay, now we're just playing defense the rest of the time, as opposed to that ball actually being a ball, and it's a 2-1 count and a hitter's count here. We have the technology, and it's so easy to use. Ball strike every single time from the computer. Immediately if it's a ball or strike. What is the resistance? Umpires, they told you, you're not going to lose your job Just stand somebody behind the plate that calls balls or strikes based on the electronics that are available, and nobody can get mad at the umpire. It's a perfect world. Make it happen, man. Hour number 2. Come on, we'll be right back.